apart from the Nitish Reddy 100, or for that matter, the lower order resilience shown by the Australian tailenders, or even their beautiful spells that they bowled in the second innings of the MCG test between India and Australia, there was one more major highlight of the fourth test between the two teams. And that was the way Sam Konstas, the debutant, how he went about his business against the likes of Jasprit Bumrah, Mohammad Siraj and even AajTak for that matter. Well, the way he went about his unconventional shots, those aggressive and the brave reverse scoops or the scoops for that matter, they were absolutely brilliant to witness. And that was one of the major reasons why Australia were able to score in excess of 450 in the opening innings of that test match. And that did prove to be vital in their win over India and also going 2-1 up. Now, David Warner has opened up on the way Sam Konstas went about his innings in the MCG test, and he has shared an advice also for Australian batters as to how they should be going about their work in the remaining test match of the BGT at the SCG. Well, David Warner, he has said that Sam Konstas is a very, very special batter. People are going to criticize him too. Against Jasprit Bumrah, you have to try and execute. It shows that he is brave. And he did show that courage against Jasprit Bumrah when he scored round about 34 odd runs in a single Jasprit Bumrah spell. The first time that, Jasprit Bumrah has actually leaked these many runs in a single spell in his test career that basically began in 2018. And overall, it was Sam Konstas' unconventional scoops that made sure that Australia were off to a flying start in the Boxing Day test. Well, David Warner, he also said that in a way he took an indirect dig at some of the Australian batters. Let's just go through this quote, that guys with 50 test matches could have been more brave. They could have played different shots, shouldn't just be on Konstas. Other players can be braver. Now, if we just try to read in between the lines here, they're the likes of Steve Smith and Travis Head. Well, they have batted well in the last couple of test matches or so. Well, it was because of Travis Head's 100 that Australia were able to draw level in the Border Gavaskar Trophy in the second test, which was the pink ball test. And then Steve Smith has finally shown some form by hitting consecutive hundreds in Gabba and at the MCG. So overall, these two batters, apart from Konstas, did try something new, and that's what even David Warner also went on to add, that Smith tried a million different things. Travis said took the game away from India in Adelaide. You have the experience to try different things. So maybe he's just taking a dig at the likes of both Usman Khwaja and Mitchell Marsh, both of who are terribly out of form in the Border Gavaskar Trophy. Well, Manas Labuskakne, for that matter, he has shown form. He scored a pair of 50s in the MCG test. But then Usman Khwaja, who had the better of Jasprit Bumrah leading up to the Border Gavaskar Trophy, he hadn't been dismissed by Bumrah before this BGT. Well, he has been out to him now multiple times, hasn't really got the solutions that he does need to counter him. And so is the case with Mitchell Marsh, who has been terribly out of form, even with both bat and ball. And that's what even David Warner wants the senior Australian batters to do, is to try different things so as to rattle Jasprit Bumrah and company in the SCG test. Well, Australian batters, just like the Indian batters for that matter, they haven't really been consistent. They've had to rely on those individual brilliance to make sure that they're currently 2-1 up in the 5-match series. It was Travis Head in Adelaide, then in Gabba, there were a couple of batters who scored those big knocks, Head and Smith, and now in the fourth test, they had to rely on, once again, Steve Smith for that matter. Travis Head didn't get going, and also it was their last wicket resilience shown by Scott Boland and Nathan Lyon that made sure that Australia were able to set India a stiff target of 340, which the visitors couldn't really surpass. So in a nutshell, Australian batters have actually failed to click as a unit. And that's where maybe David Warner has said that they can probably take a cue from the likes of Sam Konstas, who was actually brave against Jasprit Bumrah and company. And if the other batters can probably do the same, just like Konstas did at the MCG, then things could be completely different for Australia, who would look to win the Border Gavaskar Trophy for the first time since 2014 and 2015. What do you think about Warner's comments on Konstas, and do you really think that other Australian batters should play the way like Sam Konstas did in the MCG test? You can let us know your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to subscribe to Sports Today for all the exciting updates and analysis from the sporting world. Until then, on behalf of my producer Shashwat, it's Siddharth Gulati saying goodbye.